Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about how to get lean. I've been numerous sizes. Um, when I was a child, I was relatively, I wouldn't say healthy. I was active. I played a lot of sports until I was about in my teenagers, and that's when things started kind of falling off. Over time, I gained weight, just not having a good knowledge of what was healthy, what it took to be healthy, and all that. So I don't think I really got fit until I was in my early 30s. And then I struggled with a couple things throughout my 30s and then got pregnant. And during my pregnancy, I gained extra weight. I don't know how to say that properly. That doesn't tick people off, but I did. I gained more weight than I should have. And when I say should have, I did not. I reduced my intensity of my training. I reduced my movement, and therefore I should have watched my calories better. But I put myself in a bigger surplus. I didn't restrict myself from foods. If I had cravings, I ate them. And there was just, you know, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So now I feel like I'm getting to my, well, I feel fit. I feel like there's always room for improvement. So I don't feel like when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health, there's never a cap. You can always do a little bit better in some areas. And I always feel like that's how life should be. You should always be reaching a little bit more each day. So that's how I live. But let's talk about how to get lean. So I have 8 things to kind of go over. Hopefully you can stick through all 8 of them. All right, so the first one is time. The biggest thing that we don't want to have, or that is an issue, is time, especially when you're feeling that frustration, when you're looking in the mirror, and that whatever that is to trigger that first point to want to make a change. What we want is to reduce the amount of time that it takes to get the results that we want, but really we need more time than we probably think. A year, 2 years. I think for me, after my pregnancy, I didn't really do too much in the first year. So really, I would say 2 years ish. It took to kind of get to where I was to where I am. All right. So time is the biggest thing. We need to somehow remove that out of our brain that, okay, in 2 months I need to look a certain way. In this I need to look a certain way. Because if you get so dived up on that timeline, you're really going to, you might not just enjoy the journey. And the journey is super important, because if this is something that you want to do the rest of your life, you have to be able to do this stuff for your life, not just 2 months, 3 months, whatever the case is for the timeline in your head. The other one is nutrient dense whole foods. So nutritious food is very important. Making sure that you're getting as much whole foods as possible. And when you are buying things that have a label or a package, really doing your best to try and get 5 ingredients or less, and making sure that you can pronounce those ingredients and you know what those ingredients are. If you have 1 or 2 items that are not falling within that, again, is it detrimental? Probably not, but doing your best to have those nutrient dense foods as often as you can and for the majority of your time. So like 90-95% of the time. And then leaving a little bit of that wiggle room for those things that you enjoy, or things that you're looking forward to going out to eat, having sushi, having a drink, having some chocolate, whatever that case is, or whatever that other percentage is, fill that with there, because you got to still enjoy that as well. The other one is patience. So this kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with the time. Patience, biggest thing. A lot of the time we just want the results. We want the results. And as much as we're just looking on the outside for the results, we sometimes tend to forget what is going on internally, because that is what is more important. If internally we haven't made any changes, then externally we're most likely not going to see those changes. If we're still feeding ourselves, food that isn't nutrient dense, doesn't make us feel good, then the outside isn't going to reflect that. So I would definitely say patience is a big thing that a lot of people going down this journey need to have. The fourth one is movement. So moving your body. And my recommendation, especially for women as we age, even men, everyone, should be weight training at least 3 times a week, doing our best to lift some sort of weight 3 times a week. One, especially with women, as we age, we need to make sure that we do have our muscle mass, we're retaining it, we're doing our best. If we don't have much, that we are trying to grow some muscle mass and have that to just make us have a healthier, long-lasting life as well. On top of the movement, walking is great. We don't have to, if you're thinking when I say movement that you have to go for like an hour run every day or do like ridiculous amounts of cardio, that is not good. Like that's good for your cardiovascular health. And I would say don't shy away from doing that once or twice a week at most. But if if you're a member of the gym here, we do incorporate metabolic conditioning, which is good for your cardiovascular health. So you don't really have to think about that too much. But going and moving your body, just thinking about moving your body every day. We're not meant to sit all day. Get up if you feel like you've been sitting for an hour, stand up, walk around, do a little bit of a stretch if you work at the desk. But all in all is just move our bodies. The next one is consistency. So as we talk about the journey and as we talk about what matters long term is like making sure that these healthy habits you're incorporating are things that you can continue to do your whole life. And that is where that consistency comes in. That isn't being perfect 100% every single day. It's just being consistent, where consistently showing up for yourself, you're putting in your movement, you're getting that nutrient dense food, and you're doing the other stuff that we're going to talk about as well. And that's where consistency comes in. I can't say enough about it. It's not about perfection at all. Consistency looks like 5 out of 7. Maybe one week it's 4 out of 7. Whatever that is, as long as you're consistent, and if you have something that is a little bit off, then the next opportunity you have, make it a good choice. The next one is sleep. So I always say high quality sleep, looking for anywhere between 7 and 9 hours. That might not be doable, or it might seem like a lot, or you might be someone that says, well, I can function off of 5 hours and I've been functioning off of 5 hours my whole life. Sure, that's great. But what if we just tried to get a little bit more? 15 minutes, and just trying to extend that here and there, and really just trying to see, maybe you feel a little bit better with 6 hours. Who knows? Try it out. High quality means, no interruptions, not waking up, going to the washroom, not waking up, tossing and turning, but really just trying to have consistent sleep throughout the night. The next one is effort. So it's pretty big, when you're trying to make these changes, you got to put in the effort to make these changes. And I think a lot of the time, sometimes when I have someone come to me to hire me, they feel that as soon as they hire a coach, that the effort doesn't need to be there. I don't know. Or that as soon as they hire me, everything's just going to work. I can't stress enough that the effort that you put in is the results and change that you get. And that's as simple as it is. The last one that is, I feel it's as important, well, it's just important across the board, is stress management. And this is for a lot of people, myself included. Everybody needs to manage their stress. Stress management is huge. For a lot of people, we underestimate what stress does to us, or even that we are stressed. And we may not want to accept that we're stressed, but it might get to a point where it's too much and it starts to deteriorate you and your health in a way that you don't want it to. So stress management, a couple stress reducing activities, meditation, breathing exercises. My big go-tos for those are box breathing and progressive muscular relaxation. That's really good right before bed. Getting out in nature, having a massage, having a hot bath, reading a book, listening to calming music. It is almost a form of self-care, but actively doing them daily to help reduce that stress. It's not it's the weekend and now I'm going to take care of myself. It's implementing these stress reducing activities or tools rather in your day to day. So, after you're done work, you're getting to your car, implementing that deep breathing, whether it's 10 deep breaths, whether it's the box breathing, whatever it is. Coming home after a long day or putting the kids to bed and then needing to decompress, maybe having a hot bath, listening to calming music, or maybe doing some meditation, some stretching, or right before bed, doing some progressive muscular relaxation. Whereas if you're someone who has high anxiety, feeling always tense, the progressive muscular relaxation is a really good option to tighten and relax and to really get into that full relaxation over your body before bed. So those are the 8 go-to systems for how you get lean. You are not going to get lean doing a yo-yo diet, a fad diet, restricting yourself from calories, restricting yourself from foods, putting yourself in a high deficit, millions of hours of cardio. Those are not going to be sustainable for long term. So you want to implement things that, again, whether it's a workout regimen, eating regimen, stress management, sleep regimen, all this stuff needs to be things that you can do for the rest of your life. And that's how, when we talk about a lifestyle diet versus a diet, that's where it is sustainable for your life. And that's what you want. And that's how you're going to get lean. Because if you can only do it for a short amount of time, then you're only going to lose the weight for the short amount of time. All right. So thanks for listening in. Hopefully that was useful information. And hopefully you can take away any of that into your day-to-day and feel good after implementing that. Continue to eat to empower and fuel yourself for life. Take care.